students, let's continue with the chapter New Rules and Rulers. In the previous video, we have already studied about the major political development between 700 CE to 1200 CE, causes of tripartite struggle and kingdoms which were involved in it. In this video, we will discuss who were the Rajputs and Ghaznavids and why did Chola Empire become famous in history, and new kingdoms an important feature we will discuss in the other video. So let's start. The new kings and dynasties of India. One of them was the Rajputs of North India. Now, who were Rajputs? The Rajputs were the group of warriors who tend to belong to a Kshatriya class and had a code of conduct based on courage and loyalty. They were the princely member of the Kshatriya warrior caste. Some of the important Rajput dynasties were the Gadwalas of Kannauj, the Parmaras of Malwa, the Chandelas of Bundelkhand, and the Chamanas of Ajmer. Prithviraj Chauhan was the most famous ruler of the Chamana dynasty. Now let's discuss about the Cholas of the Tamil region. The Cholas were the Rajputs of the ancient family from Urayur. However, after the rise of the Cholukyas and the Pallavas, the Cholas lost their glory and power. But Vijayalaya, an official of the Pallava king of Kanchipuram, revived the Chola dynasty. He was the founder of Chola kingdom, who conquered the kingdom of Tanjore during mid-8th century. Vijayalaya defeated the Pallavas and took over Tanjore from them. He was succeeded by his son Adityavan. Now let's discuss about some of the more successors of Vijayalaya. Raja I and Rajendra I were the two famous successors of Vijayalaya. Raja I defeated Cheras and Pandyas and then continued with his conquest. He captured present Tamil Nadu, parts of Karnataka, and neighboring regions of Sri Lanka and Maldives. He was a good administrator. He expanded rural self-governing institutions, loved arts and literature, and a great builder. He worshipped Shiva but was tolerant of other religions. Rajendra I was son and successor of Raja I. He captured entire Sri Lanka. He captured part of eastern Bengal and Odisha. His army reached till Ganga Valley in North India and hence got the title Gaikonda. He built a new capital called as Gaikonda and Cholapuram. His navy then headed to attack King Shailandra territories of Java and Sumatra. He built an artificial lake. It got water from Kolliram and Vela rivers. He also built a huge Shiva temple at Gaikonda Cholapuram. Now let's discuss the administration of Cholas. The king was the head of administration and with a council of ministers to advise them. Penudamans were the higher and Sirundamans were the lower. The empire was further divided into mandalams, and the mandalams were divided into volandars and nadus. Village administration. The village council and the nadu performed several functions such as collecting taxes and dispensing justice. There were many committees and officials to perform tasks like the maintenance of irrigation, tanks or temples. Sabha also played an important role in village administration. One of the requirements for its membership was the knowledge of the Vedas. So all its members were usually Brahmins. There were other assemblies for all landholders in a village and for traders and merchants in town. Membership of these was open to other castes also. Rich peasants enjoyed great prestige in the village administration. Taxes and fines. The Cholas had an efficient system for the collection of tax, rents and fines. Apart from collecting land, they also collect taxes on trade and professions and everyday things such as use of ladders, transfer of property from one generation to another, etc. Padavikul or police tax was for protecting life and property of the people in a given village, and an entire village was considered as a tax-paying unit. Grants and payments. Many of these public officials were paid through grants. The rulers often gave grant free land grants called Brahmadaya to the Brahmins. Now, what is Brahmadaya? Tax free villages given as gift to the Brahmins or group of Brahmins by king in early medieval India, with the right to collect tax on the produce of land, exercise control over local resources, and management of the villages. Land grants were also given for running public institutions, monasteries, Jain monasteries, etc. Now let's see the architecture during the Chola Empire. Temple architecture in South India reached great heights under the Cholas. What were the main features of the Chola architecture? It was the tapering story upon story above the main deity room called Garbhagriha, and the other was Viman like structure. Now, what do you mean by tapering? Tapering means becoming thinner or narrower towards one end. And Brideshwar temple in Tanjore is the best example of Chola temple. So students, I hope you have understood the chapter. Now it's time for some brainstorming exercise. So let's start. Who were Rajputs? Who revived the Chola Empire? What were the main feature of Chola architecture? So students, give me the answers of these questions in the comment section below. Be safe, be at your home. Thank you. Have a good day.